Oh man, it's been a while since we've done an over-the-top mod project. What do you say we drop hundreds of dollars worth of upgrades into a Squier, see how cool we can make it, and then I'll send it to one of you. Sounds like fun. I don't know. Does that sound cool to you? So this is the aforementioned Squier. It's one of their new generation Affinity series Telecaster Deluxes. The Affinities are probably the world's most popular starter guitars. We even had them in China. And Squier just refreshed them last year with different specs, new metallic colors, and the Affinity Tele Deluxe is a completely new model they've added to the series. Currently it's the most affordable Tele Deluxe you can get, and Tele Deluxes are really cool. You've got the dual humbuckers, and then the Les Paul style kind of layout. So all that makes it a great mod project platform. And then you add in this awesome charcoal frost metallic body color. This is about as perfect a mod candidate as they come. When I demoed it, I was really impressed with the quality. That being said, I may have conducted an accidental scientific experiment. I may have accidentally scienced. I hate when that happens. It's been chilling in my non-climate controlled garage since March. Not recommended at all, by the way. We moved, my daughter was born, kept meaning to make room in here, just never happened. So it's endured the Georgia summer. Not great, but that gives us the perfect opportunity to see how it's held up under, well, really less than ideal conditions. So let's check it out, set it up if need be, and then do a few upgrades. See if we can turn this into a nice metal workhorse. Now, for all the tones you'll hear in this video, I'm using Bogren Digital's Amp Knob BDH bundle. It consists of 3 plugins based on 3 versions of a legendary amplifier from the personal collection of world-class producer Jens Bogren. If you haven't heard of him, his resume is ridiculous. He's worked with Opeth, Between the Buried and Me, Dragon Force, even Baby Metal. He's a man who knows what he's doing. So you've got the BDH 5169, the BDH 6606 Plus, and the BDH3. And, I mean, look at the faceplates. You know which amplifiers these are based on. Looks familiar. These are rock and metal staples. And because of that, there are so many iterations of the same theme out there. But what I love about Bogren Digital's approach is that the tone controls consist of literally just a single gain knob and an overdrive button for an extra boost. The EQ settings, the IR, the speaker cabs, mic choice, mic placement, the entire signal chain has been meticulously crafted by Jens Bogren, so you don't have to worry about any of it. It's literally impossible to get confused. It's the most direct path to the Ooga Booga Caveman Brain Chugfest. Bogren Digital offers a free trial so you can try before you buy, no strings attached. Click the link in the description for more details, and of course visiting them helps the channel out by letting them know that I sent you. I'm using the BDH3 as my main rhythm tone, but they complement each other very well, and I'll be using all of them in a full mix later on. Alright, first time playing this guitar in like a year. It's a little attitude. Here, listen to the song of my people. I mean, overall, pretty good. It needs a slight neck adjustment, like I can feel it's bowing slightly, but like the satin neck feels great. This is like the main reason why I think these guitars are worth modding. It's got such a comfortable C profile and the satin finish. Like, what more do you want? And also, I'm amazed there is no fret sprout whatsoever. I mean, this is a $300 guitar, and even more expensive guitars, if you left it alone in a non-climate controlled environment, usually you're gonna see some sort of fret sprout. You're gonna face some issues, but like, this is fine. Man, like, this is already such a solid workhorse, and the stock pickups actually don't sound too bad. Man, I forgot how epic this metallic sparkle body is, too. Oh, this neck is so fucking good. This has reaffirmed my decision that this is a good mod platform. And it's made me kind of question the decision to give it away once it's done. But that's exactly what we're gonna do. So, let's figure out what we're gonna put in this thing and how we can take it to the next level. Okay, so I think with this one, I'm gonna go with something Wage War inspired. They've used Squiers and specifically Telecaster Deluxes, most famously in the Gravity music video. Seth Blake also used one a lot on the road, loaded with EMGs. So, that's what we'll go with. Pure old school metal workhorse. The bridge can be left alone. You know, I could do something like put Graphtec Stringslaver saddles on there. Those are cool. Maybe brass saddles for a warmer tone. but that's more for taste. Not gonna lie, my first instinct was to go and replace everything with hip shot because they're fucking awesome, but this has already got a really satisfying palm mute to it. It chugs perfectly fine, so I'm just gonna leave that. Not gonna completely abandon hip shot though. The stock tuners are a little jumpy. They have that budget guitar feel, and it's also my firm belief that every guitar should have locking tuners. Seriously, right? They're just so convenient. It doesn't make sense to not have them. And Hipshot makes my favorite locking tuners on the market. I put them in so many mod projects because they're premium tier quality, made in the USA, and the open gear variant looks super cool. The kit also comes with the mounting plates, so you can align them perfectly. You don't have to drill any extra holes. It's just awesome. Been hooked on these since the first High Intergrity project. They're going in. One of the key upgrades you can do for any budget guitar is with the nut. It's not a very sexy upgrade, but it is very important. You want to make sure you've got a good, well-cut nut. You don't want the string being caught anywhere because that's where you get tuning stability problems. And the nut on the Squier is actually pretty okay. They list it as made out of synthetic bone, same as they even list for the American Performer series. No idea for sure if they're the same material though. Either way, a couple of minor rough spots on this one, so I'm gonna try cleaning it up and putting graphite in the slots. Usually I just replace the whole thing with Graphtec, but since I don't have a self-lubricating nut on me right now, we'll try this first and then replace it if necessary. But I do have Graphtec string trees, and since I really like how the guitar feels right now, I'm trying to mess with the feel as little as possible. The stock tuners are non-staggered. The hip shots I'm replacing them with are also non-staggered, which means we need a string tree. And cheap string trees are a common place for strings to get stuck, so a permanently lubricated string tree should eliminate any potential problems there. Love the nut masters, had to get them involved somehow. And the last thing, new pickups. Now, I'm not certain what wage were used, but I'm sure it was at least an 81 in the bridge, probably EMG 81, 85, or an 8160, one of the classic combos. Just so happens, I've got an EMG 8160 set that I pulled out of my ESP Eclipse, so that's what we'll use. Okay, got our game plan, let's disassemble this thing. Okay, the guitar is disassembled, and a couple interesting things to note here. One, if you're not aware, Squier is now using full-sized pots. They're not using the cheap pig iron mini pots anymore. Like, the pots used to be super shit. These are big corn-fed ones. I'm not familiar with the brand logo that's on it, but they actually feel pretty smooth and they're not scratchy either, so that's cool. And the overall wiring job, I mean, it's not like ESP custom shop, but it's still not bad for like a $200 guitar. Then this is the routing for a Tele Deluxe, and it's actually pretty damn clean, I have to say. Interestingly, they've only shielded the underside of the pick guard, but they haven't used any shielded paint for the body cavity routes. You might remember when we disassembled the Squier Mini Jazzmaster, they had used the shielded paints, and the Affinity series is definitely a step above that, so I don't think it should really make a difference because this is shielded and we're putting EMGs in here anyways. But I just found that interesting, wanted to point that out while we had this disassembled. So I think what I'm gonna do is hydrate the fingerboard real quick, and while I'm doing that, I'll double check the frets. They're pretty decent though. And then from there, take all the electronics out of the pick guard, install the EMGs, then we can deal with the tuners, and then put this thing back together. Man, that's such a dope metallic finish. This is gonna look real fucking cool when it's done. All right, got our game plan, so we can do it. The stock pickups are regular sized humbuckers, so that means the EMGs fit perfectly into the pick guard. I don't have to hack it out like I did with the Hello Kitty because the original stock pickup was F-spaced. This makes everything super simple. You know, just another reason that this is a great mod platform. And the second cool thing, check these out. So usually on top of the pots, you've got this metal ring with teeth. It keeps the pot in place. But on the underside, it's the first time I've seen this. It's a little rubber ring that basically protects the top of the pot from getting damaged. Because these metal rings have teeth on both sides, so that can dig into the pot and cause damage. So this is a cool little thing that I'm seeing for the first time on a $300 guitar. Really, really cool. I'm gonna suggest that we start using those for Harley Benton's. And I'm definitely going to be using these when I install the EMG pots. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and wire these up. Alright, so I finally found a shortcoming with this guitar as a mod project platform. This control cavity is super fucking small. And of course, EMGs with the Quick Connect system, you've got everything connected to this central little circuit hub. You've got the big old 9-volt battery. So I was very concerned about how all of this was going to fit in here. Like, you've got an extra large cavity here for the switch, so I was thinking maybe I could put this or the 9-volt up here, but the wires just aren't long enough. I don't feel comfortable splicing them. Luckily, the cavity is deep enough that the 9-volt can sit on the bottom, and this claustrophobic bird's nest can sit on top of it. But as you can see, I've had to cram everything in there because there's just not a lot of room here. That was one of the advantages of the Mini Jazzmaster. It had a big old swimming pool route, so you could basically stuff everything in there under the pickguard, no problem. The ideal scenario, if you've got the right tools and the right skills, you want to drill out a dedicated battery cavity. But I have neither of those things. Yeah, super minor downside. It's just really claustrophobic in there. Doesn't look great, but it is functional. I have tested it. So let's go ahead and put this guitar back together. Alright, I haven't been able to find it since I moved, but if I can find my Dremel, I might take out more of the cavity just so the battery fits in better, because right now it is bulging a little bit on the bottom, so I've taken this screw out so it's not squishing the electronics in there as much. But don't fucking hire me for a professional wiring job, but it works, and that looks kind of sick with the EMGs actually. Guitar looking sharp, EMGs, fingerboards looking nice and healthy. Time to do something about these slightly jumpy stock tuners now. Alright, it is done. Hip shots are in, EMGs are wired up. Let's see what it sounds like first in a mix, and then I'll do sound clips, modded versus stock for comparison. And make sure to stick around after so I can tell you how to answer the giveaway. and hip shot open gear locking tuners, they just don't get old. I love these classy fuckers. I'm actually quite impressed with how solid the tuning stability is with the stock nut. Back in the day, you couldn't rely on Squier nuts for shit. And EMGs in a Squier, it's a classic mod project. Modding a Squier is almost like a rite of passage. And with the Quick Connect system, EMGs are a great choice if you're first getting into modding and want to greatly limit the fuck-up potential. Or if you just don't want to solder. Totally get it. And I don't know about you, but especially now that it's hydrated and healthy, the Indian Laurel fingerboard looks pretty great. And I actually almost prefer it to rosewood because it's harder and smoother, kind of an in-between rosewood and maple. So let's total everything up. USA made EMG 81 and EMG 60, $99 a pickup times 2. Graphtec String Tree, $14. Hipshot Tuner Upgrade Kit, $106. Cleartone Strings, $14. Coming to a grand total of $334 of upgrades in a $279 Squier. Not the most ridiculous mod project I've ever done, but it's always funny when the upgrades are technically worth more than the actual guitar that they're in. Not that that's the only thing that matters, because this is a great player, and I'm gonna send it to one of you. For legal reasons, I'm only shipping to the continental US, so for my international friends, you can enter, you just need a continental US address that I can ship it to. Alright, so what are the rules? First of all, be subscribed to the channel. Then there will be a giveaway post on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. Follow me on those and leave a comment or reply telling me what song you're obsessed with right now. Let's get some positive music recommendation threads going. And in a couple weeks, I will select a random winner from one of those comments. That means if you fall on all 3, you'll have triple the chances to get this guitar. Important note, if you get a comment reply on YouTube saying that you won something and contact me through Telegram, that is a scam. These types of scammers are a massive problem on YouTube right now, and that's why we have to do it off platform. Links to all my social media are in the description, and good luck. But that will do it for today's video. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.